Manny Pacquiao, when he would throw, everything is just stiff, you know, sharp punches, fast, quick feet. His hand and eye coordination was ridiculous.
He says Manny Pacquiao has had 2 Hall of Fame careers.
Yeah.
And when he said that, my jaw dropped. We're on live, and my jaw dropped because...
Weird part is Pacquiao's hands just felt heavy. After the fight, I constantly was thinking, why did his fist feel like a rock?
Manny Pacquiao threw every punch with sharpness and speed. His movements were quick and his hand-eye coordination was unreal. One fighter even said Manny had 2 separate Hall of Fame careers, and that statement left him speechless. Live on air, what really stood out was how heavy Pacquiao's punches felt, like hitting a rock. Even though he wasn't the biggest guy after their fight, he kept wondering why Manny's fists felt so solid. Fighters often talk about how unbelievably good Pacquiao was. Mike Tyson said he loves watching Manny because no one brings more excitement. His speed, power, and nonstop pressure were unbelievable. His footwork threw off opponents, and his combinations were incredibly fast. Even boxing legends admit Manny Pacquiao was a one-of-a-kind fighter.
Which contemporary fighter do you most enjoy watching right now?
Out of the big-time fighters now?
Yeah.
Pacquiao looks sensational his last fight. Oh, it's sensational. No fighter, and you as my witness, as any expert, no fighter looks more sensational than the Pacquiao looked the other night. No fighter, name a fighter looked more sensational than Manny Pacquiao did that the night he fought.
Let me sneeze and say Floyd Mayweather. How do I sneeze and say Floyd Mayweather?
All right, hey, listen. Then that shows that you're a neophyte in boxing. You know nothing about boxing.
Well, excuse me?
Because no.
What? I didn't hear you, Mike. What'd you say?
That you don't know much about boxing.
You're a little uncomfortable up here.
No one said who was better. I said there's nobody in boxing that fighting that looks sensational.
Sensational.
The way that Pacquiao did against Rio.
In other words,
Floyd Mayweather Jr., who's famous for his unbeaten record and top-level defense, has openly praised Manny Pacquiao's incredible talent. In several interviews, Mayweather has said he's amazed at how Pacquiao rose from the 108-pound light flyweight division to beat champions in much bigger weight classes. He credits Pacquiao's success to a rare mix of speed, power, and natural skill, and often calls him blessed for having such extraordinary abilities in the ring.
I just want to say this to the world. It's amazing how a fighter can come from, I think, 108 all the way to 154 and knock out all these guys. To me, it's amazing. I guess he's just blessed.
Looking back, Mayweather has praised Pacquiao's standout qualities, especially his speed, unusual punching angles, and smooth footwork. He's called Pacquiao the toughest opponent he ever faced, highlighting his non-stop pace and perfect timing. Their time training together only deepened Mayweather's respect for Pacquiao's top-tier skills, confirming his place as a true Hall of Famer.
The roughest fight you ever had, who was it?
The best fighter I ever fought probably was Manny Pacquiao. Because of his movement.
But you made it look easy.
But he's a hell of a fighter, and I can see why he won so many fights, and I can see why he's going down as a Hall of Famer. It's just certain moves that he made. But the roughest fighter probably was a guy named Emmanuel Augustus.
You talk about the drunken master?
The drunken master.
The drunken master?
It's tough.
Because he was awkward, huh?
It was just tough. And Miguel Cotto was very, 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 very physically strong.
Yeah.
So you got different fighters, different days you feel different ways.
NBA legend Dennis Rodman, known for speaking his mind, once doubted Manny Pacquiao. Because of his small size, like many others, he didn't think someone that small could be so dangerous. But after watching Pacquiao in action, Rodman's view completely changed. He was blown away by Manny's nonstop courage and explosive power, especially when facing much bigger fighters. Rodman said he respected how Pacquiao never backed down from anyone, no matter how tall, strong, or skilled they were. Instead, Manny pushed forward with full force, beating opponents across different weight classes. Rodman admitted he had never seen a fighter so fearless in tough situations. His words add to the growing list of athletes who see Pacquiao as a true example of heart, toughness, and greatness.
You know, I respect it in the game. I don't know why I respect this guy, just because he's short, I think. But Pacquiao.
Oh, he's brilliant.
That motherfucker right there, that's probably one of the few fighters besides you, Muhammad Ali, all you guys, Hagler, and all those guys and stuff like that. That little fucker right there, I never seen that guy back away from anybody. Tall, short, he goes in there and says, fuck it, okay, great. And he's still doing it today, I don't know, 40 years old?
Yeah. Close to 50, yeah.
Because who's the other guy, Hopkins?
He's a great guy. He's a great fighter.
He should have retired a long time ago.
He's 51 years old.
Pacquiao's career proves he was always ready to take on any opponent no matter the weight class. His rise from light flyweight to welterweight shows how fearless and adaptable he was. He never backed away from tough fights and always aimed to face the best in every division, showing the true heart of a warrior.
I can fight anybody on 147. I tried to 154, but you know, when I beat Margarito, and then the WBC asked me, "Are you going to defend your junior middleweight title?" No, give it to them. Never mind. That's too much for me. Right. Amazing. I survived that fight. The night of the fight, I was 48 pounds, and Margarito 165 pounds. When the WBC, the commission asked me, "Are you going to defend your title?" No, never mind. Give it to them. I can carry the punches, but the thing is, after the fight, you can feel something, you know. It's too much.
Manny Pacquiao's legacy is defined by his unmatched record of winning world titles in 8 different weight divisions, something no one else in boxing has done. He began as a flyweight champion and climbed all the way to become a welterweight champion. His drive to take on the best fighters without avoiding anyone proves why he's considered one of the top 10 pound-for-pound fighters of all time.
One of the best 10 pound-for-pound fighters who ever lived. People forget, it's not just that he won titles in a bunch of weight classes. He was the flyweight champion of the world. Not that he started at flyweight and wound up as a welterweight, junior middleweight sometimes. It's that he won the championship as a flyweight. A lot of times guys started at lightweight when they're young, they're not good yet, and they grow into a bigger division. He was the lineal champ at 112 pounds. And he won titles through most of the divisions up to welterweight. And was obliterating guys and never ducked anybody. One of the 10 greatest fighters who ever lived.
Former world champion Shane Mosley shared his experience fighting Pacquiao, saying he was caught off guard by how strong Pacquiao really was. Mosley admitted he didn't expect that kind of power and was shocked when Pacquiao knocked him down. He described the moment as confusing and unlike anything he had ever faced in the ring.
I was looking at Manny, and the guy is like to my chin, almost maybe a little bit taller than my chin. I'm like, there's no way that this guy can beat me. No way. So I get into the ring with Manny Pacquiao. It's not like he's hard to hit. Like he's not easy to hit, but he's not hard to hit. When I want to, I can throw a little jab or a right hand and touch him. So I said, okay, now we're in the second round, I believe. All right, now I'm gonna, hit him with right hand, see how he reacts to the right hand. Set it up, line him up. I get ready to throw it, and I see him like this little bouncing, boom, boom, it throws a little 1-2. I fall down. I'm like, wow, that didn't seem that hard. Why did I go down? How did I go down like that? I get back up and I'm dizzy. I'm like, whoa, I'm still dizzy. Like I've never been hit.
Timothy Bradley, who fought Pacquiao several times, spoke about how tough it was to face him. He compared Pacquiao's punches to bullets and pointed out how fast his hands and feet were, making it hard to react or fight back. Looking back on his own career, Mayweather has also said Pacquiao was the toughest opponent he ever faced. He praised Manny's power and skill, saying those qualities helped him succeed in 8 different weight classes. Mayweather's words show the deep respect he has for everything Pacquiao achieved.
I'm not gonna lie, I was scared. I was scared out of my mind.
Scared of what?
Of him. How hard does he punch? How fast is he? You see it on film, but it's different when you're in there actually fighting them. Sure. It's completely different. They were like bullets. They literally, like Manny Pacquiao, when he would throw, everything is just stiff, sharp punches, fast, quick feet. His hand and eye coordination was ridiculous. And like when he would miss, I would hear like a snap, like bullets was flying past my head when he would punch at me. It was nerve-wracking. It was like I was fighting King Kong. He was knocking out everybody. I'm finally getting this moment at the top, at the pinnacle of boxing, fighting against the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the game.
At any point, did a fighter ever make you feel like, oh,
My legacy is in jeopardy?
No, but I've been in a fight. I get like in the third or fourth round, I'm like, tonight gonna be a rough night.
Okay.
One of the best fighters I faced was Manny Pacquiao. He's a future Hall of Famer.
What the is it about Manny, man? He just don't stop coming.
But you know me, I keep my distance because he's real short. I keep turning him.
Yeah, but I think this, height doesn't mean anything because, short people can pack a punch.
Keith Thurman, who faced Pacquiao at age 40, was shocked by how strong he still was. Thurman said Pacquiao's punches felt like hitting a rock, showing just how much power and conditioning he still had even late in his career.
Pacquiao, it's weird. Danny felt like a big brick. Pacquiao felt like a little brick. Okay? Now, the weird part is Pacquiao's hands just felt heavy. After the fight, I constantly was thinking, why did his fist feel like a rock? It was like awkward, right? I was like, why did his fist feel so hard in the fight? I was like, it was a little awkward. I don't really care about that stuff that much. I mean, I could handle it. It wasn't devastating. It didn't really feel like plaster, but it felt like something. It felt like a rock. So I thought, like, does he do certain training? Does he do certain, does he build up calluses? Does he have more dense bone density in his hands? Did they do some Asian stuff? What did they do? Who knows, right? And then looking at the picture, I was like, damn, you know what? Pacquiao wore them old school Mexican Reyes.
When he knocked down Thurman that fight, I was like, this is crazy. Yeah. This guy's 40 years old, still can crack, and still as fast as lightning.
The power that he possesses, but it's not a thumping power, it's that explosive speed, explosive power, the footwork, he gets in position, and all of a sudden he's landed 3, 4, 5 shots and then he's angled off. A lot like I did in my fight against Lopez. A lot of that sparring paid off and it did shape me.
The boxing world often compares Mayweather's perfect 50-0 record to Pacquiao's 8 division titles. While going undefeated is impressive, many believe Pacquiao's ability to win championships across so many weight classes stands alone. It shows his unmatched versatility and relentless drive, something few think will ever be repeated.
Okay, what's harder? Be 50-0 or to be 8 division champion? 8 division, I think so too. It's 50-0, you can be 50-0 if you have the right promoter and they pick the right opponents.
Yeah, you could be 50-0 and not become a world champion.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's that guy from Thailand? He's 52-0 and we don't know his name. I don't know his name. I wouldn't know him if he walked in the gym right now. Right.
It's so hard to become a world champion.
Period. One world champion. And defending it.
And that's for 8 divisions.
It's almost impossible. Honestly, I think it's impossible now. If Pacquiao did it, but it's impossible to be an 8 division champion.
Comparisons between Pacquiao and Mayweather are natural because of their legendary careers. Mayweather has a flawless record, but Pacquiao's success across several weight divisions makes a strong case for his greatness. Their legacies keep sparking debate among fans and boxing historians alike.
I have a video when I compared their resumes. And what I did was I grabbed all their opponents, and if they were in the top 10, if they were at number 1 ranked, I gave them 10 points. If they were at 10 ranked, I gave them 1 point. And if they weren't in the top 10, I gave them 0. And then I added them all up, and then I came up with an average of their resume opponent. And Floyd Mayweather had a slightly better resume. Slightly. It was by a point something.
Before his fight with Pacquiao, Chris Algieri went through a tough and detailed training camp. He stressed how important it was to prepare fully when facing someone as skilled and dangerous as Pacquiao, recognizing just how big of a challenge the Filipino legend was.
My trajectory was so fast. It was exponential how quickly I got from, literally fighting in my hometown to fighting Manny Pacquiao in Macau. It was such a blur at the time. I was just so focused. I think a couple days ago you said that I was like the nerd in school. Well, I was a nerd in the gym too. I left no stone unturned. I trained so hard. I did everything right. I went to sleep early. All my food was perfect. My training was exceptional. I had all the good sparring partners. I left no stone unturned. And that was the way that I was able to deal with any kind of nerves going into a fight. Homework. I did my homework. So I was prepared. I always knew I was prepared for every fight, even if I didn't know what I needed to have.
Beyond his success in the ring, Manny Pacquiao is admired for his humility and kindness. He often shares stories of his tough childhood, including times he slept on cardboard to remind himself to stay humble even after gaining worldwide fame and wealth. He's never forgotten where he came from. Pacquiao continues to give back by building homes, offering scholarships, and helping communities in need. His real care for others and ongoing. Charity work have made him more than just a boxing legend. They've made him a global role model loved by millions.
Did you really sleep in a cardboard box and on pavement at times outside when you were growing up?
Yes, outside the street, I sleep in the carton, the carton, the box. We sleep there.
What do you remember from that?
Oh, I remember because I understand we don't have house, we don't have money to buy food. But it's good. It's a very good experience. I'm so thankful to God that I haven't experienced that life, before I get this life. Before I become like this, my life right now, I experienced that life that to have nothing. And even I have millions of dollars or millions of pesos in my hands or in my pocket. I still understand, I still feel the hearts of the poor people.
British boxer Ricky Hatton went all in when he faced Pacquiao in a much-anticipated fight. Despite his strong effort, Hatton was defeated and later admitted Pacquiao's skill and power were on another level. The fight is still remembered for Pacquiao's clear and dominant win, which added another highlight to his legendary career.
A long time ago. He's returning to the boxing ring. He's been out for 4 years. He's fighting for the WBC welterweight title. That's July the 19th in Vegas, ironically. What did you make of that news when you heard it?
Well, it's boxing today, innit? To be honest with you, boxing's, if you can let a 58-year-old Mike Tyson box a Jake Paul, then Manny Pacquiao coming back at 46 doesn't look too bad, does it? But if Manny is coming back though, Tyson was coming back fighting Jake Paul, Manny's coming back fighting for the world title. And I say this with love, how has Manny got his world title shot? He's been retired 6 years. He can't. He's got that on a previous successes, hasn't he? To walk straight after being retired so many years ago, straight into a world title fight. How is that allowed possible? What happened? Surely he must have been dropped out of the rankings when he retired. All of a sudden he decided to make a comeback. They put him straight in at #1 contender. I think only boxing can answer that.
I think did you say 5th, Joe? He's been already placed 5th in the world ranking.
5th how can he be placed back in the top 10?
Comeback fighter.
Yeah, when you've been retired years and going on your previous, he was a hell of a fighter a few years back, but we don't know what he's going to be like today. So you'd like to think he'd have a couple of warm-up fights so we can see, and then get him in. But boxing these days, I think the money's everything in it.
You fought both, obviously. In your opinion, who's better? Who's tougher?
I think Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, I think Floyd Mayweather. I mean, and that sounds rich because he absolutely was probably one of the most brutal knockouts in boxing history, I'd say. When I see him getting knocked out by Pacquiao on Instagram or YouTube or anything like that, it's in the top 10 of the most destructive knockouts of all time. Yeah. But I was a little bit past myself back in the day. I'd had one or two. I wasn't a master of defence like Floyd Mayweather. I'd take 4 to get one in sometimes, And
I'm the same, Ricky.
Pacquiao's career is often seen as 2 Hall of Fame paths in one. From his fast rise in the lower weight classes to his lasting success in the higher ones, his consistency over the years has amazed fans and experts alike, confirming his place as a boxing great. Starting from the light flyweight division and reaching the top of the welterweight class, his journey is all about drive and adaptability. Staying at the top across so many weight divisions is incredibly rare and proves just how skilled and hardworking he truly is.
He also has a case for greatest fighter, pound for pound, who ever lived. I mean, when you think about what Pacquiao did from flyweight to 154 pounds, from a teenager till 40 years old, and when you consider the heights he reached, you're talking about certainly one of the best pound for pound fighters of all time. I believe, considering the fact that he's a much naturally smaller fighter than Mayweather, a better pound for pound fighter than Floyd Mayweather, and actually a guy who has a case. Whether you think he'd win it or lose it, he has a case. He could submit his resume and say, I want consideration as the best fighter who's ever lived.
Manny Pacquiao is considered one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. His rare mix of speed, power, and non-stop drive earned him respect from both legends and opponents. Even Floyd Mayweather has called him the toughest fighter he ever faced. Coming from poverty to win titles in 8 different weight classes, Pacquiao broke records and inspired millions. His down-to-earth nature outside the ring makes his legacy even stronger today. Fighters still talk about his impact, knowing that what he accomplished and the fearless way he fought will never be repeated.
Thank you to Manny Pacquiao. Unbelievable career that we may never have a career like that again. I want you to take with you, when it comes to Manny Pacquiao, is moments. By taking themselves out of a comfort zone, challenging themselves. And Manny Pacquiao is a dinosaur when it last of a dying breed. We're not going to see too many fighters like this ever again. And Pacquiao is going to be the type of fighter that we tell our kids about. Pacquiao has 20 wins, greater than some of your favorite fighters' best win. Manny Pacquiao has 3 Hall of Fame careers in one, winning legit titles in 8 different weight classes. Pacquiao's legacy will age better and better and better. Times go on and on and on. A fighter like Floyd Mayweather, I think his legacy will diminish a little bit. Salute to Manny Pacquiao, one of the greatest of all time.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned and see you next time.